are in a war, a holy war. And this will sound crazy to most, but it's against several species of aliens. It's written in the Bible. However, they read the Bible to us and for us. These are the Medis. The Medis are the media of Medusa.
Now, we contacted Abadi's attorney tonight, but he declined to comment. News Affairs tells me that Abadi, a 20th District tactical officer, has been stripped of his police powers and the department will seek to fire him. We have also learned that this investigation is now looking into threats and intimidation after the bar fight by someone connected to this incident. If you want to see the entire video, you can check out our website, myfoxchicago.com. Live on the Northwest Side, Craig Wall, Fox News Chicago.
A doctor to assess certain celebrities' risk factors and make her analysis. For example, she says it appears Britney is suffering from a major psychological disorder and that it might actually be bipolar. Could be that. The doc then predicts how much longer they'll live. Sick, I know, but I also know you want to hear what she has to say. The doc says if these people don't get help or straighten up fast, I haven't pre-read any of this. Britney won't make it to the age 30, Lindsay won't see 25, and Michael Jackson has no more than 5 years left. At the other end, Angelina's going to have a long, healthy life, and so will George Bush and Nicole Richie.
If you're not already bipolar,
I hear yelling in the booth. Are they yelling at me for the way I read that?
You did great.
Okay.
But if you're not,
wait, excuse me.
I could hear Lisa yelling.
Give her a break. She didn't read it earlier. She doesn't know the story. It's okay. Just stop it. She's okay.
I could hear you.
Yeah. Some expert who doesn't know any of them making comments on how long they live than we did on Iraq today. Okay.
Are you trying to make me feel bad?
I don't have to.
You're right.
Want to stress from what we observed and what the sheriff says, a small number of motorcyclists are causing all of the problems. But the problems are serious. Emergency responses are stretched thin. Weekends are spent cleaning up motorcycle wrecks by the sheriff's deputies, and some tourists and locals say the speeders have taken over. Now, we mentioned last night stories go around the mountains about the winner-take-all races. Well, the owner of the website who advertises those races told me it's all just a joke. He says it doesn't really happen. He says he put them on his website just to annoy the local sheriff, Russ. And they basically are saying some of the same things over and over here, and other people cause problems, the bicyclists, the cars that you see going over the double yellow lines, not staying in their lane. And some have acknowledged to me that, yeah, these guys are driving really fast, but the ones that are really causing the problems are the inexperienced drivers getting up there on powerful bikes that they're really not ready to drive yet. And that's kind of the main thing that we're hearing from them.
Now, we talk about the mother's arrest, but the mother says that her 16-year-old daughter, the victim in this case, was also arrested here back on September 18th. Now, keep in mind, this is the family story, their account of what they see happened here on campus earlier this month. Unfortunately, we weren't able to reach the school district for comment, but keep in mind, a mother and daughter baffled over how a celebration with cake...
with teenagers and students about Anna and the other kids I met in Latin America, and so far it's been really inspiring.
And not unpleasant. I mean,
well, we'll change all that.
No, we're not going to change that.
Don't change it, please.
We will not change it. We will not.
She obviously hasn't seen the show.
People have been nice, and they're not attacking your dad or his policies to you.
Well, I met with my job. I worked for UNICEF, which is an amazing organization that works in over 150 countries, and my job was to meet with teenagers who were living in exclusion, who were living in extreme poverty or living with HIV, and write their stories, listen to their stories and write them for UNICEF. And so, I mean, I obviously learned so much from these kids. I learned from Anna in particular, who has lived an extremely difficult life. I learned to live each day to its fullest.
Doing any kind of missionary work, I think, really changes a person. And you and your sister had a little bit, I mean, you guys weren't Paris Hilton, but you had a little bit of a reputation as party girls. Do you think this changed you?
You know, so it didn't change my personality necessarily, but I taught for 2 years after the University of Texas after graduating, and then went on to Latin America. And you know, of course, I've grown up. It's been 7 years since people had that image of me. But yeah, I mean, listening to their stories was incredible. And
Jetta, when you see this, when you not only listen to their stories, but you get involved and you write about it as well, does it change how you look, you're thinking about how government should run?
There's light away from the darkness. I'm just trying to figure out if he's okay. I lost my 20-year-old, but I had 20 years with my son.
It's just tragedy, horror. And please, could we do something with the assault weapons?
And every one of those hands is a reason why those weapons should not be out in the general public.
Because in this kind of a situation, what has changed? Have we learned nothing?
Each one of these people are telling stories of horrific events that they're involved with where they lost loved ones, yet they have no tears. But in the end of all their interviews, they come up with a political motivation that they preach. This upcoming video is going to be of Robbie Parker, and this is from the Sandy Hook school shooting. He lost his daughter. However, his daughter was seen 3 days later with Barack Obama.
One of the families that lost a child yesterday in the Sandy Hook Elementary School shootings here in Connecticut. One of the families that lost a child yesterday in the Sandy Hook Elementary School shootings here in Connecticut.
Robbie Parker appears to have the giggles before he speaks about his daughter Emily's murder. And here is the Parker family. And here is an image of Emily Parker 3 days after her death with Barack Obama. Emily Parker, in this next image here, she's making the goat head symbol. And you see the goat head symbol goes back to ancient Egyptian. And it's a symbol over the dead. This next image here says, "This is America." And it's a picture of George Floyd. George Floyd was killed by the cop Derek Chauvin. Well, this image was posted on a political website from Barack Obama. This image was posted on May 17th, 2020. The thing is that George Floyd was killed on May 25th, 2020, 8 days later.
I wanted to talk to y'all about this cop that killed George Floyd. This is no cop. This is an actor. This is a crisis actor. All right? This is one of those people who, when there's a bombing or a bad hurricane or tornado or a shooting, they on the news with the sob story, or they had to save somebody, or they saw something happen. They were at the crisis actor. All right? If you don't believe this, let's see some crises he's been into. Okay? Right there, you got the Boston bombings. Who's that? Guess. All right? That's one crisis. Here's another crisis. Sandy Hook bombings. Who's that? Okay? And you got your big guy right here too. And yet another crisis. Actor. That badge is painted on, ironed on the shirt. Not real. Not a cop. Actor. This guy right here is a 33rd degree Mason. The one you're fighting the world over is a 33rd degree Mason. What is that? What's that tattoo on his shirt, on his chest say? Same thing as that. And that says, "For order out of chaos." How the officer was prejudiced and scared all the time. Here she is another time talking about her son being shot 6 times, 5 times when he's only 6 years old. All right, that was during the Sandy Hook shootings. Okay, and here she is yet again in another crisis. This, and this are the same person. This is an actor, and these are all the characters.
This is the Illuminati card black activist. And what's going on is we are in a world of actors. Arturians. Arturus is Satan, and his people are the Arturians, and they're actors. What they do is they present scenarios for us to believe in, for the ditto heads to follow along with. And as crazy as it sounds, it's real. There is a hidden world among us a world of sorcery and witchcraft, and a world of aliens that live among us. The Medes and the Persians that you see in the Bible, well, they are our enemy, and we are in a great war against them. The media is their device to attack us. The media is to lead us outside of God's law. Not only that, it's also to lead us in certain directions into believing things. And the only truth, people, is inside of God's books. That's where you need to focus. Look inside those books and you'll find the truth. Here you see also Derek Chauvin was also a victim during the bombing in Boston. This is Genesis 6:4. I'm just going to read through the highlighted parts in most of the scriptures. This first one, I'm going to take you through the whole thing. Genesis 6:4 of the King James Version. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men. Now, the sons of God came into the daughters of men, okay? After they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. Okay, the famous people. That's what the men of renown means. But let me take you to Genesis 6:4 and to another version of the Bible. Keep in mind, there were giants in the earth in those days. Here is the American Standard Version. The Nephilim were in the earth in those days. So you take it to another version. It says that the giants were the Nephilim. Some people know this, some people don't. If you read the Bible, if you just read one version of the Bible, you won't know this. Some Bibles say giants slash Nephilim, and they'll say it within the same sentence that the giants are the Nephilim. You won't find that in the King James Version of the Bible. You just find the word giants. Okay, so they were in the earth in those days. Also after that, again, they're called the sons of God, came into the daughters of men. Take you on to the same scripture. This is Genesis 6:4, Living Bible. Those days and afterwards, evil beings from the spirit world were sexually involved with human women. Okay, now it's saying that evil beings from the spirit world, and it replaces, just like they're saying that the Nephilim were involved, says that the giants were involved. Okay, now these are evil spirit world beings. They're evil spirits that we're up against. Get through the whole video, but what it is, you look at her, okay? They do transformations right in front of us. Where I first learned about this from was Netflix. There was a video that I watched many years ago, and he said, you can find these aliens by watching their videos, slowing them down. He was a film director. Stuff that you're going to see in this one. Going to this next photo, see how her face is like transforming like a reptile. Go into the next one, look at how they're all deformed. But look at the back. The back is all perfect. The man in the back that they're filming is perfect. The guy next to him is perfect too. The 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 poles, the archway, the elevator in back, the door in back, everything is imperfect. But they're deforming. Why? Because they're spirit beings. And look at
connection. We lost it for a second. You said you want to see them charged. Did you say charged with murder? Is that what you said?
We want to see them charged with murder. And we want them to be convicted. We want them arrested. They need to pay for what they did.
I want to thank you, Tara. Thank you, Philanese, and Benjamin Crump.